I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass when you book with them. You have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Your Morning Drive. I am your host with the most, Logan Lewis. It is good to be back with you guys. How is everybody? Couple things before we get started. We are live from the fireworks studio in Marietta, Georgia. Before we dive in, make sure you hit follow or subscribe on whatever listening platform you're on, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit follow, subscribe, whatever the button is, to make sure that you get your episodes delivered to you without mistake, without loss of missing an episode. Who wants to miss an episode? So make sure you're following along on whatever platform, and whatever platform you're on, leave a like, leave a review, 5 stars, leave a comment, leave some kind of note on how you feel about the show. And if it's good feedback, we'll take it into consideration when changing things around. We love constructive criticism, so leave a comment if you do so. We would love that. For more updates and behind the scenes fun, follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On there, you'll see, like I said, behind the scenes, stuff about our sponsors, all kinds of stuff about the episodes, about me, clips, whatever it is. That is what you'll get on social media. So follow along. Everything is, of course, just at Your Morning Drive. My guest today has overcome early hardships, including homelessness, and becoming a mother at 17. She earned a nursing degree and launched her company at 30 while still in school. Her hard work has led to 3 successful locations, with a 4th in progress, earning Best of Rome for 8 consecutive years and Best in Georgia twice. Please welcome my new friend, Amanda DeWitt. Amanda.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am very excited. We are in the new and improved fireworks studio with new mics, new chairs, new setup, new everything. So I'm nervous because anytime I change my setup, something happens. Something goes wrong, whether the camera dies or the laptop gets unplugged somehow. But I think we've got, you saw me before we started. I triple checked everything, was like, that's on, that's turned up, that's good. So, we're flying by the seam of our pants, but we're having a good time while doing it. Thank you for being here on this lovely Sunday we're having.
It's actually not lovely outside.
No, it's not.
So it's like the perfect day to sit inside.
Yes. So this was the perfect day for us to reschedule this too. So I'm proud of us.
I think that's why it happened.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Who are you, Amanda? I know that's a huge question.
Wow.
But where are you from? Siblings, parents? Where'd you grow up? Give me the whole, who are you? The origin story.
Man. So I'm originally from Indiana, small town in Indiana, doesn't even have a stoplight.
No stoplight?
Stoplight. Stop sign. One, the cops by name. They work 8 to 5. You know where they live. You drive by their house before you go drinking.
You invite them for Thanksgiving.
So from Indiana, my mom and my dad were basically divorced my whole life. So, I had a sister on my dad's side, had 2 brothers on my mom's side, and my mom raised me until I was about 6 or 7. And then she just dropped me and my brothers off at our respective dad's house and never came back to get us. So
really?
Yeah.
So do you have any contact with her to this day?
She's dead. She's gone now.
Okay. She's dead the way you were about to say.
Yeah. And so then, she ended up moving away. What happened was she met a guy. She moved away. She had another brother with him. She did end up moving back and tried to reconcile relationships and things like that, but she could never just quite figure it out and never get her life together. She was She was something, boy.
Yeah. Dang. I hate that for you. So then you were raised by your father then from then on?
My father and my stepmom,
Okay.
who's my mom.
Yeah.
And then my grandparents would get us every other weekend in lieu of my mom's visitation to keep us siblings together, like my brothers and stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's the story you always hear is like, you can't split the siblings up. Because then it's just, I mean, there's trauma already from where we started here with the story of your mom just dumping you at your respective dad's houses and then never to be seen again. And there's trauma in that already, but then like separating the siblings has got to be tough too.
And my brother, so like my brother was a juvenile diabetic. So like I took care of him like while she was a dancer. And so I had always taken care of him, even, at 4, 5, 6, like I remember giving him insulin. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
and so like then
And how old were you at that point?
I was like 5.
Wow. What a responsibility on a 5-year-old.
Yeah. And she would just leave us. Like I walked to school. I walked him to the babysitters' houses. Like it was wild. Looking back now, like I can't imagine having my own kids. You know what I mean? Like the lack of just concern. Yeah. And so then to split that up, to split up siblings that were that close is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that just adds a whole nother layer to it. I mean, that's a life bond. Like, that's not just like brother, sister. That is like no separating that. And the fact that you did get separated for however long, that's horrible.
Yeah. It was pretty traumatizing, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, it was not great.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty shitty. There you go. First curse word. We're good. Yes. We're off to the races. Dang. I can't even imagine going through that, dude. I mean,
I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass when you book with them. You have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia.
I mean, of course, like all sibling relationships, I mean, they have their ups and downs. I mean, even now, like with my siblings, like we're all like adults now and we're trying to like figure out each other as adults.
Yes.
And it's really difficult.
Yes.
But I mean, just like thinking about that situation, I can't even imagine like somebody just saying, you can't see your brother anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, okay. It makes all that little petty shit just like go away. And you're like, who cares about any of that?
And then you are thrown into like in this environment. Like my dad's family was completely different than my mom. I was used to taking care of myself. And then you're thrown into this life where they're like, why are you doing that? That's weird. That's, you know what I mean? And I'm like, why are you telling me what to do?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. Who are you? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So then you're being raised by dad and stepmom, which is mom.
Yeah.
And then you're in high school. You go to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still in Indiana through all this?
Still in Indiana through all of this.
Okay. Through all this.
Yeah.
And then part of the bio that you sent me is that you had your first child at 17.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my mom had come back and she would get visitation whenever she felt like it. She lived in a different town, a different part of Indiana. So there, I ended up meeting my son's dad, and my dad, hard no, you're not going near that boy. Yeah. Yeah. So he wouldn't let me go to my mom's house. He like took my car, made me quit my job. Like,
wow.
I mean, everything.
What was wrong with this boy at the time?
Well,
He
changed. Let's just, okay. How about this?
Unless you know.
This man legally changed his last name to hide out from paying me child support. Moved states.
All right. I'm painting a picture. Yikes. Okay, so how does that work? I mean, how do you... I have so many questions. You got to think that when you're changing your name, they type in your current name, and then there's just a list of all of the shit that's going on in your life, and they're just like, wait a minute. You can't change your name because you owe this woman child support.
I don't know if they do that, or if you just submit a record that says you want your name changed in a court, and then they take it up and the judge is like, why do you want your name changed? And you're just like, you can say anything. You could say like, well, that wasn't my biological dad's name, blah, blah, blah,
Mm.
and then the judge signs it. I don't think there's
Wow.
records of anything.
That's really weird. I feel like we should change that. So, I mean, not to pry into your business too much, but like, did they find him? Did he pay you?
I found him on Facebook.
You found him on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, you never underestimate a woman's FBI skills.
Hell
first of
yeah.
all.
Hell yeah.
I found him, opened a new Facebook, catfished him, pretended to be somebody else.
You dog.
Made him tell me where he was. I was going to come meet him and sent the cops there instead.
What a badass you are, dude. What the hell? I'm not fucking with you, bro. Dude, what a badass you are. That's justice right there. I mean,
Absolutely.
you think about justice, that sounds like a movie or a show called Catfish. I wonder if it's ever existed.
I know. It should be.
I mean, wow. Okay, so then I don't know what I'm trying to ask here because I just had a stroke. So how do you navigate, let's go back to high school. So how do you navigate being a mom in high school? Or did you drop out of high school?
So I took off from my dad's house when I was like 16.
Okay.
Took off because I was like, well, I'm going to see this boy no matter what.
Okay. So
We're in love.
you were, yeah.
So took off, stayed with him for a while, and then my grandmother, who just passed, came back and got my ass and dragged me back to her house, and she said, you're finishing high school. After that, do whatever the hell you want to do, but you're finishing high school. So because of her is why I finished high school.
Wow. Shout out to grandma.
Right. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
And then finished high school literally the summer after high school, got pregnant, and
Okay. So you had finished high school.
did finish high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before baby came, your firstborn.
Yes.
Shout out to your firstborn.
Cannon.
Cannon?
Yeah.
Cannon.
Right.
What up, man? And so how old is he at this point?
So on 420,
Nice.
which is of course on Easter this year.
Yeah, that's problematic.
The only time that's ever happened in his 21 years of life, 21
Oof.
on Easter Sunday, 420.
I don't know where he's going to be, but I want to go to that party.
I'm going.
On Easter Sunday, on 420.
He actually lives in Fort Stewart. He's in the Army, in the military. So I'm going down and we're going to go to Savannah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So,
Thank you for your service, sir.
oh.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Doing the thing that I could never do. I'm too much of a, I was going to say coward. Yeah, that's coward. I could never do it.
I couldn't handle people telling me what to do like that. His life is just so structured and just.
I just feel like I have this own like insecurity about like how I'm not like your macho man. Like I'm not like roll up the sleeves, let's pop the hood and figure it out. I'm like, oh my God, my car's making a weird noise. I'm going to call somebody. Like I'm that guy, much to my father's disappointment. And so I already know that like if I went into the military, I wouldn't survive basic training. There's no way I'd get through that. I'd probably cry on day one. I cry when they move that bus in Extreme Makeover Home Edition. When they move that bus, dude, it's full tears. It is like sobbing. And at least I know myself. And if I went into basic training, it would not end well.
Somebody screaming in your face.
Okay, maybe I am a bitch.
Why are you upset with me?
Why? I didn't do anything. Yeah, I see, I watch the movies and see the shows. There's this cool show on Hulu, actually, that my wife got hooked on. My wife and I got hooked on. It's called Special Forces. And where they take like a bunch of like B, C, and D list celebrities, and they all volunteer for it, of course.
Right.
But they all volunteer to be like on like a special ops like squad for like 6 months. And they like train and they do these crazy exercises like jump out of helicopters and bungee jump and skydive. They do all these crazy challenges and they're being monitored. It's kind of like a reality show. So there's like cameras and all like I don't want to call them dorms, but in like the barracks where all the soldiers like hang out and chill. And like over the course of the show, like if a contestant does something that just rules themselves out as being like special forces worthy, then they get eliminated. And so at the end of the show, there's like 1 or 2 people standing and they're worthy of special forces or whatever. And it's really good. Like they get people like Brody Jenner was on this most recent season.
yeah,
Brody
celebrities.
Jenner, I don't know his name, but Pink's husband.
Wasn't he like a motorbike
Yep,
racer?
yep.
Corey?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Corey, I think. Not Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton. Cam Newton. He was a football player. He was on it. And a bunch of like influence, just people that have no business being in special forces. Brody Jenner did a great job. I think he actually ended up being one of the last people standing in the season. He did a good job. One of the Baldwin brothers, Alec Baldwin's brother, that's like lesser known, but he's like still famous.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know he had a brother until I was like, oh shit, that's Alec Baldwin's brother. Like Stephen Baldwin, something like
He
that.
has another brother that's pretty famous, right?
Yes. I think there's 3 of them. I forget their names though. Because this guy was eliminated on episode 1. He was just like, they did some kind of activity and he like rolled his ankle. And when they can,
ankles.
so they can choose to self-eliminate too. So like if they're like, I can't do this anymore, they can, what they call is like remove their patch and then they self-eliminate themselves from the show. So like he was just like he was talking to the doctor and the doctor was like, I wouldn't continue filming this show if I were you. And he was just like, yeah, man, I got another movie I'm doing in a few months, and if I have my ankle rolled, like I can't do the movie. And the guy was just like, you should self-eliminate then. And he was like, all right, bet. So he tore off his patch and he was gone. Episode 1, I was like, all right, Stephen Baldwin's a bitch. don't come at me. In headlines, Stephen Baldwin comes for Cobb County podcaster. But how did we get? Oh, your son that's podcasting for you right there. Is we're talking about one thing, rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, how did we get there?
Yeah.
Who knows? But okay, so your son's in the military. Thank him for his service again, sir. And then what? So you have your son and you're out of high school and go on from there.
Out of high school, had him waitressing, Hooters waitressing to be 100% honest.
Nice.
Making all the money. More money than you would ever think, honestly.
Okay. Pause the story right there. I have even more questions. So you're an ex-Hooters waitress now at this point, right? Yeah. Okay.
At this point, today, yes.
Okay, cool. Now I have so many questions. So a lot of money though? Like,
oh yeah. A lot of money. And even more money if you're willing to do some weird shit.
Like, did you ever do weird shit?
Hell yeah, I'm about to make my money. I'm a hustler. That's what I'm about.
You own a very reputable business now, but so I absolutely want to hear some of this weird shit and I'll edit it out. So tell me, what the fuck did you do?
So
your morning drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase.
Nothing like over the line. You know what I mean? We had this guy that came in that helped actually invent the pacemaker. He was a scientist.
Wow.
And he was just an alcoholic.
Okay.
And if you would blow into the breathalyzer of his car, he'd give you $200 so he could drive home.
No fucking way. Shit, I'll blow whatever you want for $200.
Like, at that point, yes.
Yeah.
Now would I do that?
No, of course not. Yeah.
But I mean, when I was a 17-year-old single mom, hell yeah.
Blow the man's breathalyzer so he can get home. He gives you $200.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't 17 then. I was 19, 18, 19, 18 going on to 19. But yes, would have for sure. He also had this weird thing with like wanting you to not go to the bathroom, but tell him that you have to go to the bathroom, like you have to go pee, but don't actually go. And he would ask you like every couple of minutes how bad you had to go to the bathroom. And if you like at one time I was bartending and he was like, for every 5 minutes you don't pee, I'll pay you $50 or something. And I was just like, okay.
Damn.
I mean, like crazy shit like that.
Wow. And he would just throw money at you
Oh,
guys?
absolutely.
So would you guys fight over him when he came in?
So he sat at the bar, so whoever was bartending got him, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Damn.
but he covered me a few times, and he was actually a really good guy. And like he covered me a few times. One time I had gotten into some shit and gotten my wallet stolen, and he covered my car payment. And
That's nice.
I paid him back because I didn't feel like I wasn't gonna like take money from somebody like that.
Sure.
But he was actually a really good guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice of him to do that.
Autisms, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Everyone's got their little weird kinks.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I had a few ER doctors like fly me to California and like Miami and like, you know, like me and my friends, and they would just take us for free. Like if we would just party with them and hang out, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. I'll tell you that.
So there wasn't, I remember watching some documentary on Hooters, maybe like 10 years ago at this point, but what was it ever like a toxic work environment or anything like that?
Absolutely. It was the worst.
Really?
Yes.
Just like customers, not even the customers. Was it just like
besides, most of the customers were not terrible. You know what I mean? It was definitely like management.
Wow.
You know, that like you couldn't gain weight. Like your boobs had to be big, like bigger than your stomach. Like people would, and this is also like a long time ago where like weight was like you had to weigh 100 pounds or you were fat.
Or you were fat. Yeah.
So like that was really important to them. Just weird.
Really?
Yeah. Stuff that now we would be like.
Yeah. But what's crazy is even like today with like, you know, the whole like canceling movement that like went on like a few years ago. Like, I'm surprised Hooters is still around.
But they have bigger girls working there now. Have you been in one?
I actually did just go to the Cartersville Hooters for the first time. Okay. And no shit, the food was banging.
The wings are fire.
They're so good. Like, I remember sitting there, I'm like, we're at the Cartersville Hooters. And while we were in there was this guy. Talk about weird, right? So our server, it was her first night not shadowing somebody.
Okay.
So she was on her own. She came to the table, and me especially, but me and my wife usually we respect wait staff. You know, I worked at a restaurant too, so like I understand the struggles of a restaurant. Right. And so I give people, you know, maybe too much benefit of the doubt, but like we try to be very easy customers when we go out to eat. Right. So, you know, and very jovial too. So she's just like, hi, you know, such and such, writes her name on the napkin or whatever. And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Like, how's your night? Like, what's going on? She's like, well, it's my first night, not shadowing anybody. It's my first night on my own. So we're just like shooting the shit with her, talking to her. And I'm like, anything weird happened to you yet? Like, you just started working here. Like, anything like crazy? She's like, well, the table behind you. And I was like, okay. She was like, just listen. Just every time I walk up to the table, just listen. And so I was like, okay, bet. So over the course of us eating, like every time she would, you know, get him a refill, drop off napkins, give him his food, whatever, he would say something like D+ or C- or A+ or stuff like that. And at the end of the night, and he had a notebook with him too. So when we were walking to our table, we walked by him and I saw that he had a notebook and he was taking notes. I was like, okay, maybe he's some weirdo. Maybe he's writing a book. Right. Who knows? Right. Like, you know. So at the end of the night, or at the end of his meal, I guess, she brings him the check and he goes, all right, honey, so here's the deal. And then he reads off a bunch of categories, the letter grades associated with them. And then it comes out to be like C- or something. And then he's just like, so for this, I'm going to tip you $3. And the reason is, and then he went down this list of like, your tits aren't nice enough. Your too much ass is hanging out. Your morning drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com hooters.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase. Your lips look weird. You smell funny. Your attitude was weird. Just all this physical stuff to the point where my wife was just like, what the like she wanted to get up and say something and defend this girl. And to the point where I like turned around in my seat and was just like, and then I tried to remind myself, I was like, okay, we're at a Hooters. It's 8:00 at night on a Sunday in Cartersville. So much work. And we're not giving this guy an excuse. I mean, that was a pretty shitty thing to do. And so then she walks up to us and she's like, first night. And I was like, dude, that sucks. People like that are few and far between. My wife is like, where the fuck does he get his nerve to sit here and grade you like he's like management? She was like, he literally told me my tits were too big. And I was like, I don't think any guys ever said that.
Never.
Not at Hooters. So, I mean, would you ever have like, did people ever like touch you or anything, like customers? Like, would they ever like get too confident, have too many beers and try to ass smack and shit?
Absolutely.
And do they get kicked out for that? Or like,
No.
what's the...
Honestly, at that time, it depended on the management. We had a guy manager that was totally like, do whatever you need to do to make people happy. But you know what I mean? And then we had a female manager who was just like, she wouldn't have handled that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really just depended on who was in charge and like who was there that night and things like that. But yeah, there were plenty of times when people were inappropriate, you know, like physically or just even like emotionally abusive, like what that guy was doing to her. Like, why would you think that's okay? Who are you?
Right.
She should have started listing his physical flaws.
And he had plenty.
While she was standing there.
He had plenty. And what's even crazier is after he paid the tab and he got up from the table, like the manager, bartender, you know, it was like 8:00 on a Sunday night. So it was very slow. So like manager, bartender, servers, they were just kind of shooting the shit over by the front door, by the bar. And the guy went up and he was just like, to the manager, he was just like, she needs to fix a few things. She'll be better. And the manager was just like, okay, dude, like, you've paid your tab, time to move on. Like,
right.
Like, clearly wasn't having it because I guess the server went straight to him and the management was just like, no, fuck that guy. So yeah, very odd.
Well, and hopefully, like, as times have progressed, you can see, hopefully, like, corporate has passed down new, you know, like, it is okay to have a little bit bigger waist and stuff like, because that would have never been okay, ever. Like, you would have been called fat and made to lose weight, like, for real.
Yeah, it's so funny nowadays, like, how, like, that mindset about, like, your hips, like, when we were in college, when my brother and sister were in college, we would go visit them. They were swimmers in college. And so we would go to these swim meets and my mom would make comments and be like, I can't believe nowadays, like, the bigger butt you have, like, people are like, fuck yes, like that's the chick that we all want to be with. Yeah. But like back in the day, like if you had a big ass, you were fat.
Yeah, and it didn't matter what your waist looked like. No. If you were big at all anywhere, you were just fat. I mean, do you remember watching America's Next Top Model?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I lived and died by that show as a kid. You know what I mean? And so like there'd be girls on there and they'd be like, you know, size 6s, and they'd be like, well, so that you're a plus size model. And I'd be like, well, I'm fat as fuck.
You think she's fat?
And it warped as a kid. Like, our perception of what beauty is so warped, like, at this age. And hopefully, like, the younger generations are coming out of that for sure.
I'd like to think so, but I also don't know. Just because of the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girls are just like, oh my God, I'm so fat. And that you like, they like tug on their stomach and there's like this much skin like coming off of it. And they're just like, I'm so fat. I'm like, dude, if you're fat, then I'm obese. Like,
yeah.
The social media, the age of comparison is horrible.
That's why my daughter's not allowed to have social media. She's 16.
Nice. Good for you.
And she doesn't want, and she came to me when she asked for it when she was like 12. And I said, if you can write me a paper and show me 5 things that social media will do to benefit you versus hurt you, then you can have it. And she couldn't.
Damn, that's fire. Look at you go, dude.
Yeah, and she couldn't. There was, the rate of suicide is higher. You know what I mean? Like,
all the stats are against it.
Absolutely.
Wow. It'll never go away, though.
No, absolutely. And it's only going to get more progressive, and it'll be something else after Facebook. And
So
Snapchat and
do you hate the fact, like fast forwarding a little bit, do you hate the fact that you have to use it for your business? Or do you like doing it?
No. I always say the day that I retire or sell my business, I will throw my phone in the ocean. Catch me on a track phone, on a pager. Like, I don't even want nothing to do with it. Not because I don't want to keep up with technology and stuff like that. I do think there are good uses for it, but having some people that feel like they have constant access to you is exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, and you don't answer Facebook messages fast enough. And I've had people be like, well, I messaged you a day ago and I know that you read it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I did read it, but I forgot to respond, you know, like,
Sure.
and it can just be really exhausting.
Yeah, I understand that. I do. It's yeah, it's one of those things. I wish the same thing. I wish I didn't have to market the podcast on social media, but that's where it all comes from, is social media.
Right.
Or how I attract new guests is social media. And it's like, but luckily in the past year or so, networking and more like in-person connections have led to some awesome episodes. So I'm really hoping at some point that just like takes full force and I don't have to like scour the internet for people on social media.
Right. So how did you find people, like when you first started? Why did you start? Tell me this story.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. So I thought podcasts were like dumb. Like I thought they were like NPR, like Rush Limbaugh. I was
Yes.
like, podcast. Like one of my buddies was like, are you familiar with like the Barstool Sports brand?
Yeah.
Okay. So like my buddy sent me a podcast by Barstool Sports. And he was like, hey, listen to these guys cut it up. It's awesome. It's hilarious. They're talking about sports, movies, whatever. And I was like, podcast, like NPR? Like my grandparents listen to podcasts. I was like, what are you, 40? Like this is when we were in college. And so I was like,
Not 40.
sorry, what are you, 45?
Yeah.
Like, so he was like, I know it's radio, but like just listen to it. And so I listened to it and I thought it was hilarious. I was like, these guys are having so much fun.
Right.
And they've got, you know, sponsors, they got local companies, big companies that rep them, they pay them. And I was like, that's so cool that people can just shoot the shit with people for a living. So I was like, I want to try that. And I always growing up, like wanted to be like, do something kind of creative. Like I've always been obsessed with like the entertainment industry. I've always loved writing. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll be an author one day. Maybe I'll do YouTube. Maybe I'll do something. And I just never did because my household, my parents kind of had like this, like, that art shit is cool, but like do your math homework.
Right.
Kind of. And, you know, this is not a horrible mindset. I mean, we need the engineers and the mathematicians and the doctors and the lawyers of the world, but that just isn't where my mind was as a kid.
Mhm.
So I just never did. And then in college one day, I was like, fuck it, dude. So I woke up, went to Best Buy, bought a microphone, bought, you know, like a very cheap, like $20 microphone, downloaded a free software to record on my laptop, and then just started right there. Like I didn't even have a name. I didn't have anything set. I was just like, I'm just going to try it. So all I talked about was movies for the first, like, I have like 400 some episodes. For the first like 300 episodes, it was all movie talk.
Shut up.
And I had co-hosts and they dropped off and I brought new ones on. And it got to the point where I was just like, I'm sick of relying on other people. So I was like, maybe I'll just go back to just talking to myself. So I tried that for a while.
Okay.
Failed miserably. Just on my end of like, I was having no fun. I was like, this is so boring, not talking to anybody. Because like I could go see the new Spider-Man movie and give you a review on it, but like I would rather someone across from me to have another opinion, to like talk about it, you know? So over those years of doing the movie podcast, every once in a while we would interview a local business owner or something, just to, you know, if someone would be like, hey, the podcast thing is cool. Can I talk about my business? And I'd be like, sure. So I would interview these people just every once in a while, like every 50 episodes, like an opportunity like that would happen.
Mhm.
And when I was wrapping up the like talking to myself thing, I was thinking back and I was like, where did I have the most fun? And it was always when I was getting to know somebody new. And I moved around a lot as a kid because my dad was in construction. And so we moved every 2 or 3 years to a new state. So every couple of years I had to reintroduce myself to a new city, a new school, new friends, new everything. And I was like, man, I'm great at talking to people. I'm good at like getting to know people. When I was single and when I was dating, I loved dates, not solely because I had a chance to get with a girl, but more so because I loved getting to know them.
Yeah.
Like in hearing their story.
Yeah.
And so now I was like, well, maybe we'll try interviewing people or having conversations with people and just seeing how that goes. And lo and behold, the show's never been better. So here we are 7 years later, 400 something episodes. I think this is 430, episode 430.
So are the first 400 are not the movie ones? This is I'm not counting those movie ones.
So yeah, no, I don't have 800 some episodes. The first like 300, 250, something like that is all movie talk.
Okay.
With little interviews sprinkled in, and then closer to 300, there's more interviews, and then like I think like 350 on is just solely Your Morning Drive, because the show had a different name a couple times, did a couple rebrands, didn't know what I went to Best Buy, I didn't have a plan, which I look back on now and think I should have taken my time and really tried to figure out what my plan was. But
it worked out though.
It did. Here we are.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
So are you a movie buff?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What's your
I can talk about
movie?
movies forever.
Do you have like one that's just like you could watch it no matter what?
No, Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah, I live and breathe that movie. I could quote it frontwards and backwards.
Okay.
I love it. For a while I would go back and forth and say like The Lion King was my favorite, but that was like before I saw Jurassic Park, and I was like, dinosaurs are dope. But yeah, I watch movies. The show was called The Binge Boys, and we would just talk about TV and movies. That's all we talked about. But I got sick of the co-host thing. No offense to them, they're still buddies to this day. Is because like I would be like, all right, guys, this weekend, the new Wicked movie's coming out. Let's all go see it so we can talk about it on Tuesday.
Right.
And they wouldn't see it. So I would come on Tuesday ready to talk about it, and they'd be like, oh, I didn't get the chance. I was like, so what the fuck's the point?
What are we supposed to talk about?
Right, exactly. So I was just like, okay, I'm good to just do it alone. At first, they were just like, oh, you shouldn't, it's not paying you. You shouldn't treat it like it's a full-time job. And I was just like, yeah, but it's my baby, and I want it to grow. Yeah. So I'm gonna put 110% in. So that's why I pivoted from the movie talk to the getting to know people thing. And
you've had some really cool people on, from what I've seen on social media.
I've had some really cool folks.
Yeah.
Some really, really cool people.
Met some really cool people, networked.
Tons.
Yeah.
It's been so cool. I mean, people like Kelly Nagel from downtown Cartersville with Nagel's Bagels.
Yeah.
Big Rich Brock, the comedian. He was a pastor for 25 years, turned comedian.
A pastor turned comedian?
Yeah. Pastor for 25 years, turned into a comedian.
Polly, it's never too late to follow your journey.
It isn't. No, he was amazing. Great guest, very inspiring. I mean, I've gotten to talk to some really cool people. I got to talk to a guy who won American Idol back in the day. Do you remember David Cook?
Yes.
Yeah, I interviewed him on this podcast. He wasn't here. He lives in Nashville. Okay. But I reached out to his people. One morning I went down a trip down memory lane, it was a night that couldn't sleep. So I was watching reels, and up came a blooper reel of funny American Idol auditions. And I was like, oh man, American Idol back in the day was dope. Watching
everything.
It was so amazing. Yeah. Everyone talked about it. It was anything anyone ever talked about.
And everybody watched it.
Everybody. Everybody. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll run through the winners or top 3 of every season, reach out to all of them. And David Cook responded.
That's so cool.
None of them. I take that back. What is his name? Taylor something. I forget his name, damn it. Ruben Stedford, his people reached out. He won, I think, season 2.
I'll say, yeah, he was early.
There was another guy, Taylor, I don't know what his last name was, but his people reached out and they're like, oh yeah, let us know. And they just the communication fell out. But probably within 20 minutes, David Cook's label, they were just like, yeah, he'll do it. That sounds cool. Let us know when.
How cool.
I know, it was so good. And that was actually the first season I ever watched in full, with my parents, was David Cook's season. So I was like, dude, this is full circle for me. This is so cool.
That was put out into the universe to happen.
And he was so kind.
Yeah.
So cool. He even was sick. He was like, hey man, sorry, I'm a little sniffly. I was like, dude, you could have canceled. He was like, nah, I don't like to cancel things. I was like, that is so sweet. Just little old me. It's not like I'm ABC News or anything. This dude. Either way, super cool. So yeah, that's why we're here. So I just love getting to know people and telling their story, because everyone's got a story.
Well, I'm glad that you invited me now. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you. So fast forward a little bit, because you have a business that is very reputable based on the bio I read off. I mean, you could have lied when you said all that stuff to me, but I did some research. You won those awards.
Yeah.
So well, actually, no, I don't want to ask you about that. First, I want to ask you about homelessness.
Yeah.
You were homeless.
Yeah.
For how long?
God, it wasn't really long. It was like 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it wasn't like years, you know what I mean? Like some people.
Bruh. Homeless. How did that happen?
Well, after I had Cannon, you know, we lived with his parents,
Okay.
with Cannon's dad's parents.
Okay.
And when he wanted to run around or like be with other people, they would kick me out of the house, basically.
What?
Yeah.
You and your child?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
They were A+ people. Yeah. And I hope y'all see this too.
For
Fuck
real.
y'all.
Let's go. Let's freaking go.
So, like they would just be like, just literally just lock me out of the house.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. It was pretty wild. And so I lived in a park for a little while. Sometimes his cousin would let me stay at their house.
Oh, with your kid? How old was your son?
He was a newborn.
That is seriously so fucked. I hope they see this.
Yeah, he was a baby. Yeah. And I had worked the whole time I was pregnant, and he didn't work because he liked to play video games all night and sleep all day. And so I had to like walk back and forth to work because I didn't have a car at the time. And they just didn't care because like Zach was their baby. Like he got everything he wanted. Didn't matter.
Wow, dude. That is so fucked up, dude. And this is still in Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I'd saved up enough money. I'd got like a $700 Chevy car or something. And I talked to my grandmother, not the one that passed away, but my mom's mom, to let me stay with her if I paid her rent or whatever. And then that's when I was able to get a better job and start saving money and kind of pulling my life together a little bit at that point. But still then I had just enough freedom and I was still young to be making bad decisions and just enough money to be making bad decisions, you know? So just a rough time as a young adult.
So when you were homeless then, was there anything that you experienced that you would share, would look back on that time and say I'll never forget that?
Really, I'll never forget just the feeling of just being so helpless and just being out. We would sleep, especially in this one park with remember the old curly slides that had the covering on them?
Yeah.
So we would sleep in those and just being there's nobody coming to save me. I gotta fucking save myself. And that just telling myself that over and over and over, you know, that I'll never forget that.
I hate that. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. That's dog shit.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
So, so you're going through that. And then at what point are you just I'm going to fix this shit? I am no longer gonna just, like you said, I'm not gonna wallow in my situation. I'm gonna put me and my child in a better situation.
So I knew that. So how this all even come about was the night before I had my son, his dad was beating the hell out of me for something. And I'd reached up to push him off of me. I'd scratched his face. And his mom kicked me out of the house that night for scratching her son. And so I slept outside the night before that I was supposed to be induced that morning. I went to the hospital that morning by myself. He was late getting there because he was having a bad hair day. And, and so that was when I was okay, I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? This is not who I am. And thankfully, my dad raised me enough because I was raised in two different worlds. My mom was, like I said, a dancer. She was on drugs most of my life. She pawned our Christmas presents and told us people broke in the house. She was one of those type of moms, you know, and then my dad was thank God for my dad. He was worked the same job his whole life. You go to work, you go to college. That's all there is. You make A's and B's, like without him, like that work ethic, like without me seeing that, I literally don't know where I would be, because at that moment I was like, okay, I fucked up. I'm going to fix this. Like I'm not going to be my mom, and I'm not going to do this. And then when I had my son, I was like, there's no way I'm going to let him live the same way that I lived with my mom. There's no way.
Right.
So that was like he was basically the turning point.
Yeah. It's like that thing that every parent says, like the second that they hold their kid for the first time, it's like everything changes.
Yeah.
And I'm not a parent, so I don't know what that's like. But I mean, like some of our good friends just had a kid a year ago, and I just asked him, I'm like, dude, like, what's it like? And he's just like, dude, like all of the sudden, within seconds, everything changes.
Mhm.
Your priorities change. Your life changes. Anything that isn't for the betterment of that child, fuck it. Like, no, it doesn't deserve a spot in your life. If it's not going to give that kid a better life than you were given originally.
And the fear of like failure is what they're going to see, and like looking, not having anything to look up to, or like even something happening to you, like I'm like, something happens to me, what's going to happen to him? Like, you just don't think about none of that stuff. You don't have to. I don't ever remember what that feels like to not be thinking about somebody else.
Yeah. So then at what point, I mean, where does Georgia come into the picture here?
Working at the Hooters, making money, slinging that ass. And
throwing that ass in a circle.
And this guy came in, and he was just a super great guy. He had this Southern accent. Like, of course, everybody was just falling all, head over heels. And so we dated while he was up there. He was up there like on contract work, basically. And he came back home, and we stayed in contact. And finally he was like, why don't you just come down here? And I was like, hell, I ain't doing nothing else. Why not?
Hell yeah.
So I just packed my son up and everything up and came down here.
Wow. And how long have you been down here at this point?
God.
I mean, what year was that?
2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how old were you at that time?
Young, right? Like 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. So you move down here. You move in with boyfriend, contract work boyfriend.
Yep. Contract
Then
work
what?
boyfriend.
Did you transfer to Hooters down here?
The one in Rome was actually closing. I thought about it.
Really?
Yeah. There was one in Rome. Do you remember that?
No.
So there was one in Rome by the Goodwill, and it was actually closing. And so I kind of just stayed home, and that ended up having our daughter in 2008, and just raised her mostly.
Okay. So then where did the self-employment bug come from?
If you ask my family, I've always hated being told what to do. I've always hated it. And I think really intelligent people, they have a hard time in the workforce. Some of they just do, when you work as like a nurse or in the medical field at all, and you work with these people that they have all of these degrees and stuff, but they're not with these patients, and they don't look at their paperwork, that but they think that they're so far above you that they treat you poorly. I just don't handle that well. And so I've always kind of wanted to just do my own thing, whatever that may be. At that time, who knew what it was going to be?
Yeah. Was there, besides what you're actually doing now, was there any other thoughts that came to mind? Like, were you like, oh, I could try this, or I could try that? Or did you try a couple things before landing on Ideal Meals? Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
Not really. And I feel like, so this is a whole different conversation. Ideal Meals was like divine intervention. And like, when you hear the story, you'll be like, that is really freaking weird. So like, but I've always had like a passion for doing, I started out in fitness. I taught a lot of like fitness dance classes and things like that. I've always really just kind of done my own thing. Just by the wayside, whatever that may be. I just love an unstructured environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then tell me about this divine intervention. I mean, like, how did it?
So there's so much backstory to this. Okay, first of all.
I've got time.
Okay, first of all. So do you believe in like mediums and like the spirit world and things like that? Like, I'm a huge believer in that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm a huge believer in all of those things because I just know that they're real after what all the shit that I've been through, right? So, my little brother passed in 2017. The end of 2017, right before his 30th birthday. The one that I raised with the juvenile diabetes, he passed. And I was having a rough time. Like, probably should have been admitted somewhere with some grippy socks. You know what I'm saying? So I went to a medium because just some weird stuff had been happening, some really weird stuff. And I went to a medium and I was like, and so found one that was supposed to be like one of the best in the United States, whatever, and did like a chat with her, like a video chat. And so there's no way, I mean, I guess there is a way that this lady could have used because I prepaid using someone else's PayPal. Like the only thing that she would have was my phone number.
Sure.
So how much information can you get with somebody's phone number? I mean,
right.
Depends on who you ask, I guess. So, when I met her, she said, there's somebody, a female around you. And I'm like, I don't know, so at that point I'm being skeptical. And she's like, no, there's a female around you. And she wants you to know, like, she's a sister, but she's not your sister. And I started thinking about it and it hit me who it was. My brother had a sister and she had passed away before him.
Okay.
So different, on his dad's side, he'd had a sister.
Okay.
And she'd passed away before him. And the lady said she wants you to know that she gave you a gift that you'll be able to provide for your family. And I'm just like, what in the world is she talking about? So I'm like doing all this, after this whole medium thing, which was incredible. Like,
sure.
There's no way that she could have known these things about me. You know what I'm saying? That that we were talking about. And so I'm thinking about it and I'm sitting around and I'm like, what in the world is she talking about? Like, her name was Cheyenne. And I'm like, what would Cheyenne have given me? Like, I met her like 3 times my whole life, like, I mean, I knew who she was and stuff, but she passed away August 9th of 2015. I put out a Facebook post on August 15th so she passed away August 9th, August 15th, 2015, asking if anybody would it literally was laying on my couch, taking a nap and woke up and was like, I wonder if anybody would be interested if somebody like prepped their meals and made their food. Meal prep companies weren't even a thing at that time. Like there wasn't.
Yeah, none of them existed.
Yeah. And that literally happened 6 days after she had died. And looking at her like death dates, I was like, she gave me this idea. I know that she did.
Yeah.
And people were like, yeah, that'd be so cool. Blah, 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 blah. I worked at the gyms and taught like dance fitness. And I had a few people that like, yeah, I would buy meals if somebody made them, that'd be so easy. And so I started doing it and literally it just overnight went crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Like skyrocketed?
Yeah.
Like wake up the next morning and you have like 300 messages, kind of crazy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I had to take the Facebook post down because a lady who had been making meals like at a restaurant called the health department on me, but I didn't know it was illegal at that time. I literally had no like food.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing was wrong.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, sure.
Like obviously
you don't know what you don't know.
Right. Yeah. And so, the health department sent me all these letters and blah, 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 and shut it all down. And I just had no idea that it was even that serious.
Wow. Yeah.
But now, obviously, knowing all the food rules and stuff, I know how serious that could be.
Sure.
But, I mean, It literally was an idea that popped into my head while I was taking a nap. And I know that it came from her. Because of that, like my whole family has passed away. I've had to pay for all the funerals. I've had to take care of all the arrangements. Like nobody would have ever been able to do that. Like it just.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
So then from there, so they shut you down. And then you did research, I assume, and then figured out like, why the hell did I get shut down? And they're serving you all these things. Well, this code, this, that, or this code, this, or the violation there.
Yeah.
And then you, go and get all those certifications
No, because you just can't, it's illegal to do out of your house, period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You just can't cook food out of your house. Like people that sell these plates and stuff on Facebook, they could get fined like thousands of dollars because when you think about it, I mean, now I know, like, if you think about it, you can't store like raw food with vegetable in a house fridge.
Yeah, that's true. Makes sense when you talk about it out loud.
So like, at that point I had to be like, okay, so I'm either going to do this or I'm going to do nursing. I'm going to pick one. And here we are. I just got a building, rented a small, like 800 square foot building, filled it up every single weekend. And then finally, after my landlord at the time came to me and was like, hey, let me build you something. Like, this is crazy. And so he built us like a 3,000 square foot like warehouse, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. Like right beside the building we were in.
Wow. That's awesome.
It was pretty.
And so that became your first location, really? Or maybe second, I guess?
So that was like so that was like not the original, but like which now is like the hub store where we make everything and prep it and send it out.
Wow. And then so I know you have a few locations. You have 3 locations, right? A 4th in the works. Is that right?
Yes.
Where's the 4th going to be?
Kennesaw.
Yeah?
Yes.
Where at?
Over there by Crunch Fitness.
Shut up. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Thank you.
So, I mean, when it comes to these locations, are you opening them up based on your customer market? Like, hey, we're seeing a lot of orders from Kennesaw or from Ackworth or Marietta or Rome or Cartersville, whatever. And so you're like, okay, so maybe you set up, because I know a little bit about this because my buddy actually used to also run a company called Prepped and Ready. And it was based out of Kennesaw.
Okay.
He had a little spot, a little kitchen, a small kitchen near downtown Kennesaw. He doesn't do it anymore. He's moved on to other entrepreneurial businesses and stuff. But he had some partnerships with like a couple gyms in the area where he would put a freezer or a fridge and people could pick up their meals at the gym after they leave the gym or whatever,
right.
So do you do that first and then think like, okay, like this is really popular, I should open up a location? Or like what goes into you deciding like, okay, I'm going to put a spot here?
So
sorry, very long-winded, but there you go.
No. And the answer is simply short and sweet. I know that this is my path, and I know wherever I put something, it's going to do well.
Damn.
I believe in the people that I have working for me. I believe in myself, and I know that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. So I don't really worry about failure. If it fails, it fails. Who cares?
Wow.
Move on.
Have you had a location fail?
No.
So you have the original in Rome. You have the one in Cartersville that we go to.
Yes.
You're going to have the one in Kennesaw. Where's the other one?
Calhoun.
Calhoun. Okay. Oh, duh. Yeah, I saw that on a website the other day. Sick.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude. Isn't it crazy? Like, I mean, so you've won all these best of Rome's, best in Georgia, 2 years.
Yeah.
What's that like? Like, is it like a cool, like, do you look at it like, so I know some businesses are like, oh, well, it's cool to see that people think that we're doing that well, but like, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. Or do you look at it from like, this is a huge honor, or a little bit of both? Like, how do you look at those kinds of accolades?
Absolutely. I absolutely am so grateful. I couldn't be more grateful than the people that support me and support, our business. But I'm willing 1,000% to do the work. Yeah, there were like, when we were in the original building, we would work till 2 a.m. and be back at 6.
Yeah.
I was never scared to do the work, and I'm not scared to do the work now, no matter how many people I can hire or whatever. Like, so as grateful as I am for those awards, I know that I worked for them. Nothing was a given, know? So
that's so cool, dude. I mean, to go through the shit that you went through, to be literally on park bench
Yeah.
to running a business that has won these best in the whole state awards.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's so cool, dude. I mean, it just shows you like the like you said, you're not afraid to do the work, and like you hear all the best like success stories, like people like Steve Jobs. He built that first computer in his garage,
Right.
and it's like at the time he was just building a computer. Same thing. Like you were just asking people on Facebook or at the gym, like, "Hey, would you buy a meal from me?"
Yeah.
And then it became this thing where you have 4 locations almost, and it's like, do you ever take a step back and you're like, "Holy shit, how did I get here?" Or are you just like going through the motions at this point and you're just like, all right, another day, let's go?
You know, I feel so grateful for like each day. I guess it comes from like losing my little brother and then my mom, and you know what I mean? Like, and so you just become, I feel like I take a lot of steps back, a lot. And I'm always just like, how the fuck did I get here? How the fuck did this happen? It's just silly when you think about it. Cause I remember being a little kid. I told my mom, it's my stepmom, but my mom, we were somewhere this past weekend and I was like, hey, do you remember when I told you that I didn't need to know how to dust because I was going to have a house cleaner? And you'd always say, well, Amanda, you better make a lot of money if you're going to have a house cleaner. And I was like, I don't need to know how to dust.
And now do you have a house cleaner? Nice. That's awesome, dude. So freaking cool. So was there ever a moment of pursuing Ideal Meals that you almost like right there, like hung up the towel? Or from the get-go, have you always just like, I mean, all of us, of course, is the entrepreneur life. Like we all have bad days, but have you ever been like, I'm this close to being done?
No. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, there's days when you're like, I can't do this one more second. But no, I mean, there's never been a day that I didn't think that this was what I was supposed to be doing. You know, like never.
So at this point, with you having several locations, obviously, or I assume that you have people in charge of each of these locations, or a management, or maybe you're that person still. How do you? And this is kind of like what I struggled with having co-hosts was like, how do you make sure that the people that you've hired put the same level of care and attention to detail that you put into it?
So that is why I have the hub location. That's why I have hub locations instead of kitchens, because I control the quality of every product that comes out of that kitchen.
Okay.
So we cook everything at the Rome store.
Okay.
And it gets sent out to the pickup locations.
Okay.
So that's how, and then I pick who I put in the store based on their work ethic, their attention to detail, their dedication, things like that.
So do people work for you full time?
Oh, absolutely.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever, again, like another like take a step back moment? You're like, I pay this person and they rely on me.
Yeah.
They rely on the business. Like that's got to be so cool, right?
It is. It is terrifying, but it's a huge honor that they believe in what we're doing. They really do. And they care about it.
Yeah. And you make good stuff. I told you beforehand because I wanted to make sure that you knew that like I wasn't just telling you because of course I'm on a podcast with you, but like, so we used to use my buddy's meal prep company. And then ever since it disappeared, we've had nothing. We tried the HelloFresh things, but and I'm sure you can relate to this, and this might be even part of your pitch, is like, these conglomerates, things get missed, or, boxes aren't checked, or this might be lacking, this might be, and then this is a local company with a local person with a great story, and you're supporting a small business and, all these things. And she was like, hey, I'm going to pick up meals today, just like a month or so ago.
Right.
And I was like, what? Meals? She was like, yeah, I found this thing online and it's local. They're based out of Rome. They've got a location in Cartersville. I'm going to go pick it up. And I was like, shit, okay. She's like, I got you chicken by the pound. And I was like, okay. And we cook it. We throw some things together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this shit's good. You have my endorsement to get more. And so we've been on it now ever since. And it's good stuff, man. You should be proud. It's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do y'all live in Kennesaw or Marion?
We live in Cartersville.
Oh, you live in Cartersville. Okay.
Like 5 minutes from downtown, probably 5 minutes from your location.
Oh, okay.
And what's crazy is before then, I've driven by that. I don't know how many times I've been like, Ideal Meals. And then just never thought anything of it. Yeah. Never thought like, hey, you remember that meal prep thing we did a few years ago and we loved it so much? Let's look into Ideal Meals. But she figured it out. She discovered it. Or no, you know what? I lied. She discovered it because she goes to Burn Boot Camp.
Reagan.
Yes.
Yes.
And Reagan does your meals, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's how she discovered it. That's right. And then she said, my trainer at Burn Boot Camp recommended this. We're going to try it. And I was like, okay.
The Reagan girl seems like a really sweet girl. I've talked to her like on social media a little bit. And Burn Boot Camp sounds really fun too. I really want to try it. Does she like it?
She loves it. She's obsessed with it. Like she gets up and goes at like 4:30 in the morning.
No,
and I don't know how the hell she does it. And she's a teacher too. And she teaches in Kennesaw. So she gets up at 3:55 to go to the gym. She comes back home, showers, and then drives to Kennesaw.
She's a teacher?
She's a teacher, second grade.
Okay. So does she have I wonder what her opinion is on the AI situation.
That's a good
I'm
question.
telling you, this has been driving me crazy.
So put it out there. Give everyone the backstory on the AI thing.
Backstory. So my daughter, who is so just driven to be something amazing.
This is the 16-year-old we were talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. She's submitting this online application for a leadership program she's trying to get into. And they say that we check your answers for AI, but also in the next paragraph that that grammar and punctuation will kind of like deduct their points from who they pick. You know what I mean? Like, so they want it to be perfect, but they don't want you to use AI. And so like my question is, where's the line? Because I feel like that's what AI is for, is to help us be better, to do better. I don't think it should be used in replacement of critical thinking, but like, why would you not use the tools that you have available to make it perfect if that's what you want?
Yeah, my wife and I both use AI frequently. I mean, I don't, like you said, I agree with it shouldn't replace critical thinking, but at the same time, if I want a quick answer for something, I'll go to ChatGPT instead of Google. Or if I want, because, the thing with AI is that it's unbiased too, is that like, if I want an answer about something, it's going to tell me the point blank answer because it's a machine. Whereas Google will show me articles from 15 different places. And maybe this is a CNN or a Fox or an ABC or a MSNBC. So, there's all these different sites with different voices. Whereas the AI thing, it's a machine and it will tell you the facts. At least that's what I've experienced so far. I haven't ever read something on ChatGPT that like sounded like it was biased.
Leaning one way or the other.
Right.
Same.
So I use it all the time. I mean, a lot of my Instagram captions, I'm like, hey, tweak this or tweak that, or my intro when I'm reading off the programming notes. I don't know how many times I've been like, adjust this, shorten that. I use it all the time. And I think she does too. I mean, she makes her lesson plans and she said, hey, make this sound better for 7-year-olds. And it does. I don't think she relies on it 100% to do her job for her, but I mean, she uses it like a tool. And, to the people that are like, oh, AI is the worst, or, AI is the devil, it's going to take over human population, all this shit. AI has always been around. The spell check in Microsoft Word is AI.
Commented, well, she could have used a spell check or grammar check without using AI. I'm like,
spell check is AI. Your Google Assistant, your Siri, however long those have existed, they haven't marketed it, but it is AI.
Yes.
It's artificial intelligence. That shit has always existed. Well, not always, but ever since spell check has been a thing, that's AI. It's a program reading your entry, finding mistakes, and telling you about them. That is AI. So to that person that said spell check, that is AI, smart one. I mean, I use AI to help this podcast. I mean, I have this amazing program that takes the pressure off of me, that I can click one button. It removes all of the uhs and the ums, all of them, just like that.
Ooh.
It's incredible. Whether it's a 3-hour episode or a 25-minute seconds, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I use AI all the time.
Because who wants to go through an entire 3-hour episode and remove all the uhs or the ums?
Yeah, it'd be pretty terrible.
Tell you, it takes a long time. Because before AI existed, guess who did that? Me. And it sucked.
You're using the tools at your disposal to make your life better.
Right.
Like
to increase productivity.
Yeah. And when you're an adult, time is money. So why wouldn't we teach them how to make their time more valuable?
Yeah. I mean, we try to tell people, like, take advantage of your resources. There's a difference between cheating and plagiarism and taking advantage of your resources. If you're plagiarizing, you're blatantly ripping off somebody else's work. But if you're using AI, like, hey, make this sound more professional. I use it in emails all the damn time.
Same.
Make this sound nicer, but keep my tone.
Exactly. Or I'll say like, so like that's what I was reading her words, and I was like, just make this sound a little more polished and give me the correct punctuation.
Correct.
You know, but they're her words. So I don't understand why that would be a sway one way or the other.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm pro AI.
Same. I mean, it's not going anywhere, so everybody better.
Doesn't it feel like it just came out of nowhere too? Like I feel like one day we woke up and it was just like Chat GPT, and then the next day it was just like boom, Instagram has AI now, and Facebook and Snapchat and all these things.
Gemini now for Google, and yeah, it does feel like that. Like they're all in a race now.
Yeah.
But then it's scary because like, where's the line going to get drawn, and who knows what that will be?
Right. Who knows if there is a line?
Yeah.
They're like, soon your AI can respond to your spouse's texts for you, and you're just like, oh, that's weird.
Would it or would be nice?
AI, respond to this. I don't feel like it right now. I'm not in the mood. Tell her what she needs to hear. But
what's your tattoo about there?
That just means that no matter what I do, I always just be 3 stars. I'm just playing. That's not what it means.
I was like, explain further.
It's just a family tattoo. So we did it like I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. So we did it so that like it's basically just whatever member of the family you are, you shade that star. So like my dad's the oldest out of everybody, and then my mom, and then so my mom has that star shaded. There's me, my brother, and my sister.
So you all got it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Except sister and dad have yet to get it. Me and mom and brother have it, but those 2 need to get it.
Are they going to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
My dad plans on it for sure. I don't know if my sister is, but like me and mom and Griffin and dad have it. But
I didn't know if it was one of those situations where he was like, yeah, you guys get it first, I'll get it afterwards.
Well, that's how I was afraid of the tattoo life, if I'm being honest. I just got this like August.
Is that your first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like my whole life, like my mom had breast cancer. And so like everyone in my family has like breast cancer tattoos, like to commemorate her journey.
Yeah.
And like I've always, ever since I was in high school when she got breast cancer, I was like, my first tattoo is going to be for my mom. Like I'm going to get a tattoo for my mom.
Yeah.
And I just never have because I've been afraid of the pain. Because again, going back to the special forces conversation, not the manliest of men. Okay. So I've been afraid of the pain.
Okay.
But then I got my tattoo. Great woman, Ashley, who I interviewed on this podcast, and as soon as the interview was done, she gave me a tattoo. Not in here. We actually recorded at her tattoo studio.
Okay, all right.
And then she gave me this tattoo, and she filmed I got my reaction filmed to like the needle hitting me for the first time, and I was like, oh. And then it hit me, and I was like, and that's it. Of course, other parts hurt more than others,
Right.
but I was like, I could put up with this for a few hours. So now I'm completely covered. Everything you see is skin, but I'm completely covered. Like everything is covered in tattoos.
Shut up.
I swear. Like I can't even sell it. I was trying to think of like funny tattoos to be like, yeah, on my back I've got Darth Vader riding a horse, wielding the cross.
That would be something.
The power of Christ compels you. May the Christ be with you. No, but I definitely want to. I want 2026 to come around, and I want like 3 more tattoos this year if I can. I know they're expensive.
Is that true? Okay, so you're a big movie buff. I just read something about a Mandela effect where he says, Luke, I'm your father. That's not really what he said.
No, he says, he doesn't say, Luke, I'm your father. He says, funny enough, I'm reading right now or listening to the audiobook. It's like a biography of George Lucas. And it's talking about the making of Star Wars. And funny enough, that scene, it was such a big surprise that the whole scene was torn out of the script so that executives couldn't see it, marketing couldn't see it. The only people that knew about it was Mark Hamill playing Luke Skywalker and James Earl Jones recording the voice of Darth Vader. No one knew because he told Mark Hamill 5 minutes before that scene was filmed. He was like, oh yeah, by the way, that line is there. And Mark was like, are you shitting me? And he was like, no.
So what's the actual line?
I don't know. It's like, no, I am your father.
No, or
yeah, it's not Luke, I'm your father. It's no, I'm your father.
That has to be the number one misquoted movie line.
I think it is actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loving the George Lucas book. Turns out that dude's an asshole.
George Lucas?
Oh yeah. Huge asshole. Like, you want to talk about control. You said, like, you control every bit of product that leaves your Rome facility.
Yeah.
And you probably like that.
Yeah.
Are you a control freak like me? I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And I used to think I was bad. And then I'm reading this George Lucas book, and they're talking about, like, okay, so like when he made Star Wars, he gave it to some writers, and he said, nah, your writing is bad. I'll write it. He wanted to send it to some directors. He's like, you guys suck. I'll direct it. Producers, same thing. I'll produce it. Costumes, makeup, marketing, all of it. He was just like, if I'm not doing it, I'm standing over their shoulder while they do it. And that's what he did for all the Star Wars movies. Because he couldn't handle giving control to somebody else. Because he was that, like, crazy about, like, control.
But
so he ruined a lot of, like, relationships, like, in Hollywood because of that.
Right. But that was, like, his world, you know?
Yeah. I mean, respectfully so. I mean, same to you. Like,
Yeah.
You wouldn't want someone else supervising because they might have a great level of perfection, but it might not match your level of perfection.
Yeah. And nobody's ever going to care as much as you do about your baby.
Exactly. Which is why I'm doing this by myself now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like when he pitched to Harrison Ford to be Indiana Jones, Harrison was just like, I don't want to work with George because George is an asshole. But lo and behold, of course, we now know that Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing it anyway because of the cha-ching, I'm sure. But yeah, George Lucas, big control guy. At our wedding, my DJ called me out of being a bridezilla. He was like, I have never dealt with a groom that was so particular. Everything.
The songs he played?
Yeah. I gave him a playlist. I gave him a playlist and gave him an exact order to play the songs in. Did he listen? Nope. He did his own thing, and it was fucking awesome. But like, yeah, during the reception, he was like, hey, everybody, I'm Todd. I'm the DJ. Good to have everybody here. Just want to thank Logan and Catherine for having us. Oh, and by the way, Logan is the biggest freaking bridezilla I have ever. And the whole crowd, everybody, my friends and family know that I'm the control freak. They're all cheering. They're applauding. They're like, yeah. And I'm just like, I had no idea he was going to say that. No idea. Completely called me out. But I deserved it. And luckily, he's a family friend. Him and my dad went to high school together. So I was totally okay with him, like, calling me out.
I would have been like, well, then you go work somewhere else.
Well, like, as he was saying it, I was like, wow, I was a control freak. So.
But it was your wedding. You wanted it to be
But
perfect.
what's funny is my wife didn't give a shit about half the shit I did.
No?
Yeah, everyone was like, when, wedding planning, they're like, well, have you guys been navigating that okay? And my wife's always like, Logan's the one that cares about everything, not me. If it was her decision, we would have eloped. I was like, no, we're not eloping. We're having a party. Because your boy likes to drink.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a party. My family likes to drink. My friends like to drink. I like to drink. We're going to party.
Did you guys have a great time?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah?
So good.
What do you like to drink? What's your drink?
Well, I'm allergic to beer, so I can't drink beer.
How are you allergic? Like wheat?
No, it's the hops.
Really?
Even more niche.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I was allergic to beer in college. One night, I was partying, shotgunning Michelob Ultras, and the next day, I went to I think it was a college football draft or a basketball draft at like a Taco Mac or something. Ordered a beer, took a sip, tongue puffed up. The next day. So then the next day, I went to the doctor. Was like, what the fuck, doc? And he was like, yeah, allergies can pop up overnight. One day you could eat something, the next day you could be allergic to it. Your body just decides it doesn't like it.
That shit.
Yeah, it's done with that shit, really. So the same thing with beer.
That's wild.
So
I've never heard that.
I know, right? Tell me about it.
You said yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
So I drink seltzers, cocktails in a can. I've got a great alcohol recommendation for you.
Okay.
They're called Good Days. They're a sponsor of this podcast. Good Days Cocktail. No, I'm just kidding. There's an ad already inserted in the episode somewhere. But yeah, they sponsor the show. It's a local company out of Marietta and Athens. The co-founders are from those respective cities, and it's a cocktail ready to drink in the can. It's not super duper like over flavored, not too much alcohol. It's the perfect blend. They're so good. I used to keep them in the fridge in here, but then I drank them all and I haven't restocked.
Like a store?
Yeah, they're sold all over the place. They have a website. You can just like go and like look up where they're at. But next time we meet, I'll bring you some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll bring you some because they give me, for advertising, they give me free alcohol. So like I'll meet up with him every like 3 months and he gives me like a pallet of it.
For free alcohol?
Yeah.
I'll put Good Days on all of our meals, on all of our bags.
Jason, you hear that, buddy? Jason might need to bridge a connection here.
Because that's a perk right there.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. So do you live in Rome then?
Yeah.
Do you live close to your facility?
Across town, which used to be close, but now that traffic in Rome is so bad, it's like 20 minutes.
Damn.
But
How far do you live from or how far is your main hub from your Cartersville location?
40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're probably 20, 30 minutes from me or from where I live. Sweet.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I have to come up and see the space at some point. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
It's really
Good days.
Yeah, it's good.
What do you drink?
Crown Peach. An apple.
Hell yeah. Crown Apple.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Right? I mean, it's just perfection.
When you cook your meals, do you wear a giant chef's hat? Because you absolutely should.
I should. You're right. Usually I have a lot more hair than this. I don't know if I can put it in a chef's hat. But
That'd be so funny.
Wouldn't it be great?
You just like walked in one day, just like not even acknowledging that you're wearing this big ass chef's hat, and your staff is like,
And also, I have 2 chefs, and they're probably gonna be like, "The fuck?"
wow.
Or I give them chef's hats and tell them that it's part of a requirement now that they have to wear them.
So let me ask you this then. So when it comes to like your meals, because I know like every week they change?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you decide what comes in, what goes out, what stays, what doesn't stay? Like, is it just based on people ordering them or not?
Yeah. What sells well could be the way the freaking wind blows, what I'm feeling like we should make that week, who I have working that week. If I have certain people out, I know that certain things won't be plated as well or made as well. Or, I mean, really it can vary. If people request stuff, I'll throw it on there. Just shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not like necessarily a rhyme or a reason to it. You
No.
just kind of, however the wind blows, like you said.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's no set rotation.
What's your most popular meal?
Oh, God. Anything like probably barbecue tacos.
Barbecue tacos.
But so it's like roasted barbecue chicken and like a street corn. And then like we make pico, we make ranch, and then give you tortillas with it. That always is anything though with cheese sauce or any pasta dish. You know, people love the pastas. What's one of your favorite meals?
I love the chicken parm. I had that the other night.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. Man, one thing I love is that you sell the chicken in like bulk or the meat in bulk.
Yes.
And then we take it and then we'll make stuff of our own with it. Like we made quesadillas with it one night. Like we had like a buffalo chicken quesadilla, which was fire.
Yeah.
We'll throw it in tacos, like you said. So like what she'll do is like she'll buy a few meals together through the week, and then she buys the chicken in bulk, and then I take the chicken in bulk and throw it around and do stuff with it. Because then I like that freedom and flexibility of like that I'm not tied to like the specific meal. I could make a quesadilla or a salad or whatever with it. And I always liked that about the last time we did meal prep is like we just bought meat by the pound and just did whatever with it. Stuff.
So being a consumer, what would be your feedback as far as what we could do better or what we could bring so that like you're like, oh, I wish I could see this, because we have thrown around the idea of doing in the grab and go like family size meals that you can just pop in the oven. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wow, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. So like what would be like, ooh, I really would love to buy something like this.
Well, I actually had a thought as we've been sitting here talking, and I'm wondering if you've maybe thought about it. Maybe you have. But what about like a snack for on the go? Like, have you guys ever thought about like smoothies or like a drink of like a protein shake of some kind? Have you guys ever thought about like dabbling in any of that?
So I've thought about doing like a pre-made all the ingredients where you would just have to add ice and blend.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we do like the meal replacement bars, the little Spartan bars. I don't know if you've ever had those. And then, so those are really great. They're
Do they have nuts in them?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter's fine.
Yeah.
I'm also allergic to everything under the sun besides beer. I can't have tree nuts. And I know with a lot of protein bars, like a lot of them are made with like tree nut extract and stuff.
No, just peanut butter.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah. So, but no, that is a good, like the snack idea.
Yeah.
I do have people say they would like snacks.
I don't even know what it looks like. I mean, like I don't have a idea per se, but just like quick on the go stuff. Cause like the meals are easy to make. You pop them in the microwave and cook them for a minute and 30 seconds, something like that.
Right.
3 minutes maybe. But like, what if I'm on the go and I'm like, want something real quick? Like
Right.
I'm late for work. I'm going to grab it real quick and go.
Yeah.
Like, what would that look like?
So we do use the like I said, the meal replacement bars. A lot of times we'll do like a protein ball, like with rolled oats and things like that. But we have also thought about doing like protein boxes, and you can get those at a lot of grocery stores and things like that.
Sure.
But making it a little bit fresher, changing up the ingredients.
Sure. And again, it's local. It's a small business.
Yeah.
And I like to, we were talking about this the other day, me and Catherine in the car, but I was like, I think we're coming around as a society. I think most people prefer to shop small. Like they'd want to do the small business route.
Absolutely.
Like I do think like there's a lot of us that will go to like the big chains and buy, you know, the big boy brands for certain things. But if I have the ability to support a small business for a thing that I want, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Because it helps the little guy out.
I feel like you like what you're saying. A lot of people are kind of making the switch. And a lot of people, it feels like, are making the switch to trying to eat better as well. Do you feel like that, especially the past few years?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, you know, you guys could have been eating better this whole time with even the big boy brands.
Right.
But it's almost like they see I don't really know. Maybe they just assume like that the big corporations like don't want us to be healthy, which, you know, you could theorize all day and night about like how, well, if I go to McDonald's, I can get chicken nuggets for $2, but if I want a salad, it's $6.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so like if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, you could think that the big corporations all want us to be obese and fat and whatever. But
well, and then I wonder if like COVID had anything to do with it, like having that like what's it called when you feel like death is close, or when you're like you realize that you're not
kind of like an epiphany, I guess.
Yeah, like you're not your morality, not your morbidity. It's like an M word, but like where you kind of realize, like, oh, this isn't permanent. Like I only get like this one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just kind of come to a I should get my life right kind of attitude.
Yeah, and even if I'm just eating better at lunchtime instead of hitting fast food every day,
right?
You know, I really feel like that culture is changing, which is.
I think so. I think like people are like, you know, even if I make one change in my day, it's better than where I was before.
Yeah.
Like whether I go from, you know, if I drink 4 Cokes a day and now I drink 2 Cokes and a water, like that's still better than the 4 Cokes in one day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I'm all for that as well. Like I don't think that you have to completely like change your life to be healthy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's silly.
That's the thing that stinks about like health experts and the internet in general, of like everybody has their own opinion about like how to lose weight and how to be healthy. And like some people will say, oh, well, carbs are bad, you should stay away from carbs. And then some people are like, no, carbs are good, like you should have a healthy amount of carbs. Or like, oh, you should do cardio to lose weight. Oh no, you should. Everybody's got their own opinion about it. And it's one of those things that I wish I could just be like, just tell me what's going to work and I'll do it. I don't need the opinion. I've never tried to ask AI what I should do to lose weight. But
you should. Weight loss is calories in versus calories out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's stuff that you could eat that will make your body look different.
Sure.
You know, but I mean, at the end of the day, if I only eat 800 calories worth of Snickers bar a day, I'm still going to lose weight because you're only eating 800 calories.
Exactly. Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
Am I going to look great with all that sugar and carbs? No.
Maybe not, but you
Yeah.
still might lose some weight.
Yeah, you're going to be skinny fat.
That's what I am, is skinny fat.
Exactly. I was going to call you that too, but I didn't.
You were going to call me skinny
I
fat?
didn't want to hurt your feelings.
No, it doesn't hurt my
Okay.
feelings. There's nothing that you can call me, Amanda, that I haven't said to myself already. I asked ChatGPT how to lose weight, and it gave me a 6-point plan with bullet points and everything. Maybe I'll read it later, maybe not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably gonna hit McDonald's on the way home.
What's your favorite fast food? Speaking
Oh,
of fast
boy.
food, favorite fast food, like drive-through place.
Man, I'm a McDonald's hoe. I love McDonald's. I
Really?
do. I'm a McDonald's apologist. Like, people are like, "Oh, it's so bad for you." So are cigarettes and drinking. Just kidding. I don't smoke cigarettes, Mom. Maybe the occasional drunk cig, but not regularly.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude. What about you?
Taco Bell.
I had that the other night. It was bussin'.
1000%.
What's your order at Taco Bell?
Cheesy gordita crunch, nacho cheese chalupa. Do you remember the chili cheese burrito?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you know that there are Taco Bells in the country? There's a chili cheese burrito finder, and you can still find the Taco Bells that have chili. And there's one in Adairsville.
Nuh-uh.
Swear to God,
Do you go?
I drive there.
I don't know. I love Culver's, but there's not one around here.
Yes.
There's one in Woodstock and there's one in Kennesaw.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily my parents live in Kennesaw, so every time we go visit my parents, I'm like, should we get Culver's? I think Culver's might be the answer, but for some reason I feel like I'm forgetting one. Oh, of course, everyone loves Chick-fil-A. It's God's chicken, I guess.
See, I'm not a Chick-fil-A fan.
Not at all, or you just don't believe the hype,
Not really.
or
at
you're just
all.
like kind of impartial to it, or you just don't fuck with it.
I'm a Popeyes bitch.
A Popeyes bitch.
Yeah.
Popeyes goes hard.
Popeyes.
When the drive-through is less than 45 minutes long, and when they actually treat you somewhat nice,
That's
Popeyes
never
goes.
gonna happen. Or you're not at Popeyes. First of all, grow up.
If you go through the drive-through at Popeyes and they don't call you a piece of shit, what you want, then you're not at Popeyes.
Don't you fucking try to customize. Don't you ask for nothing special?
Yeah, I'll take the tenders. And can I? No. Stop you right there, sir. No.
No, okay, so if you get their chicken sandwich and they have this coleslaw that they chop up dill pickles and put in, and then you put the coleslaw on the sandwich. That's it.
Sounds like a heart attack. Yeah, I'm a hoe for a good chicken spot. I love Zaxby's.
Oh yeah.
Which sounds really good right now. Yeah, fast food's tough. I love all fast food. I don't really discriminate. I mean,
Against fast food.
yeah.
I don't really. Yeah, Chick-fil-A does not.
Doesn't tickle your fancy?
Probably not even in my top 5.
Really?
No.
That's okay. Because everyone like screams Chick-fil-A from like the rooftops, and I'm like, it's good, but like, I'm not gonna fight anyone for it. Like, if I'm in line and someone's like, got the last chicken sandwich, I'm just gonna go, okay, I'll go to the 18 other options. I'm not gonna be like, God, no, they ruined. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But some people I feel like would.
People ride for Chick-fil-A.
They do.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's maybe they're poisoning everybody.
But I came from up north where we didn't have Chick-fil-A back then. So like I wasn't raised on it. So maybe it's one of those things you have to grow up on to feel that way.
Maybe because I didn't grow up on it either, moving around all the time. I didn't have Chick-fil-A until I got to Georgia, I think. I lived in Virginia at one time, and I think Virginia just got a Chick-fil-A right before I moved from there. So I actually think my first time at Chick-fil-A was Virginia. Ooh, do you consider Five Guys fast food? There's not a drive-through.
No, there's no drive-through.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because I asked somebody that question once and they said Steak and Shake. And I was like, well, there is a drive-through at Steak and Shake. But I feel like fast food, like what defines fast food is that like
it's fast.
It's fast. Steak and Shake usually isn't very fast. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Don't do it. If you're ever like, I really want a Steak and Shake milkshake, just don't. Because the drive-through takes forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
No, that's the worst. I'm not going through a Steak and Shake drive-through for sure.
Nah, it's not the best. So, brain fart. Love those. What else you got going on?
Not shit. I just work. My daughter is 16, so I'm just basically behind her, helping her do whatever she needs to do.
So, are you at the office every day? I mean, you're at the shop every day.
Yeah.
And you're there all day, pretty much.
Not every day, all day, but I'm usually there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, And then Monday is pickup, so I'm not usually there all day, but I'll stop in Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm usually stopping in, ordering stuff, doing stuff, but at least every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it keeps you busy.
What else can you do? I can't pass it off.
Yeah, you could.
I could. Is there somebody that wants to buy a meal prep?
Depends on how much. How about I'll give you good days once a month for the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Let me see how much I have in savings.
No, I'm just kidding.
My stocks aren't looking too good right now.
No, I pulled out of that. I was like, fuck these stocks, man. I'm not into it. Investing is another one of those things that it's like everyone's got an opinion on what you should do. So I'm like, and I'm a person that's very matter of fact. Like I want the answer. I don't want an opinion. I want the answer.
Have you ChatGPT'd it?
No, I have not.
Because there is so much information. I'm a huge trader. I day trade. I'm like a huge,
Really?
like I'm really big into the stock market.
Really?
Yeah. And so like ChatGPT, boy, it's a cheat code.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Shit.
If you know the right questions to ask, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah.
You got to know the right questions. Interesting.
So you said you pulled out all your money? Were you down?
You know, everyone that I've told that to has called me an idiot. I mean, listen. It's not like I had like bands or anything, but the little petty money I had in there, I was like, see, I was like, what? I'm like a quick return kind of a guy, not a long-term gain guy.
Okay.
So like I struggle with the stock market.
Okay.
I went and did an adult thing recently and got life insurance, and I opened an IRA. I'm very proud of myself for that. And the person that was helping with it, she was like, yeah, it's going to do this. It's going to do that. I was like, great. Like, how much am I going to have tomorrow? She was like, nothing. I was like, okay, got it. Yeah. I don't know. I'll put back into it. I just like, at one point I pulled everything out and I put everything in like a high yield savings account at one point. Like it was like 4.5%. And it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed, Amanda.
You only lose when you sell. You only lose.
Well,
what stocks did you have that you sold?
I had Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
Which I bought it during COVID and everyone was like, oh, it's going to shoot back up after COVID. It didn't. It's the same. Maybe it shot up $1.
Right.
But like nothing massive. I bought same thing. Carnival Cruise Line, because over COVID it was really low because no one was cruising. So I bought it hoping it would shoot back up and it did not. I had AMC. I had made some money during the whole AMC GameStop thing. I made a little bit of money there.
So it's a meme stock.
Yep, did the meme stock. I had Dogecoin at one point, bought a shit ton of Doge, sold it recently though, because I was like, nothing's ever going to happen to Doge. And then they announced that Doge was a government organization and it skyrocketed. I was like,
it makes you feel better. It's back down.
I was like, what an idiot I am. So that was it. I think I didn't have a lot. I didn't do a ton.
All right.
I think I bought a cannabis stock once or twice and got like a quick return from that, but I don't know.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get back into it. Maybe.
Probably not.
Probably not.
If you're a quick return to
probably not.
Yeah.
I will, because like I told my dad that I pulled everything out. He was like, you're a moron. And I was like, okay. He was like, it's a long-term thing. I'm like, yeah, but like I'm impatient.
Yeah. Investing is. Now trading is not long-term.
You're right.
You can see a fast turnover from that. But...
You sure can. I need this to be like a little higher, homeboy.
So how are you liking your new setup? Like what feels off?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It doesn't feel 100%. And I think the space, they know that it's not 100% yet. I'm not loving the table situation.
Okay.
I'm just giving them a live review. Don't worry. By the time it comes out, they'll probably have fixed it. But yeah, I just don't love the tables. I'd like them to be higher. Like I want this like right here. Not like I've touched this at all since we've started. But like I want this higher up. I don't know. Maybe like at home, we've got one of those like tables that like slides under the couch. It's called like a C table, I think. And it like the bottom part slides under and it's got like a platform that you can put like your coffee or a book or a laptop on.
Right.
Like, I think that would be kind of cool if it's set like right here. I don't know.
So you don't feel like everything is like easily manageable?
I don't know. Cause you know, when we were at the table, like it was like this, like the chairs were like looking at each other head on like this. I think this is definitely better for the video aspect because the video was just the side of everyone's face. Now, like, I feel like cause we can swivel and move like this, like it's better for video content, but I'm not 100% sure. Thanks for asking. I'm not sure yet, but The lights have a lot of potential. I can't wait for us to hook those up and get some more decor. The TV, it's not 100% yet. We're like at 60% right now. The biggest thing was getting the table out of here, get the mic, whatever these are called, stands,
So
the
it's a
new
work in
mics.
progress.
It is a work in progress.
All right.
But yeah, that's me. Amanda, there comes a point in every conversation I have with folks that I ask them a collection of questions that have nothing to do with anything we just talked about. It's their very first date questions. They're like get to know you questions, because I just got to know you from like a personal side and like your business side. But like these are like everyday Amanda questions.
Okay.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? It's got to be a tie between The Shawshank Redemption and The Greatest Showman.
Great choice. Where's my phone? There it is. Great choices. Shawshank is amazing. Showman is awesome as well. What was your first job ever? Was it the waitress?
No, it was a waitress, but I waitress at like a Mexican restaurant when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't work at Hooters in high school.
No, I wish you could. I would have made so much money.
Damn. That Hooters stuff that we talked about, we didn't talk about anything like sketchy. Do you want me to edit it out still? Should I take it out?
I don't think we talked about
I don't
anything
think we did.
crazy. No.
No, it's not like we talked about you going, I don't know,
No.
behind a dumpster or anything.
Anybody behind a dumpster.
Did anybody do that though?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking awesome. The man in me is like, good for that guy. If you were not going to live another day, what would your final meal be?
Oh, God. It would be some sort of pizza.
Yes. Everyone's always like, I want a steak cooked. I'm like, bro, I'm getting a large pizza and just, oh yeah, I'm showing that shit down. Don't got to worry about the constipation because I'm dead tomorrow.
Did you try the viral Domino's pizza that went viral with like the garlic parm sauce
No.
and the Philly cheesesteak on it?
Oh my God. It sounds like diarrhea.
It is terrible, but the best thing you've ever eaten.
Really? Really?
I'm sitting here thinking about that pizza right.
Wow. What's for dinner tonight?
Domino's.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Now that we talked about it, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I'd like to place an order for pickup. What? This is a fun one. You get to organize a music festival catered to you. So who are your 3 headliners?
Oh, Post Malone #1.
What a great person you are. The more you talk, I'm like, we're homies now.
Most importantly, Post Malone. That's the only one that I can for sure be like, absolutely. Probably Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
#3. I mean, it would be probably somebody like super just hype and inspirational. Not inspirational like
someone who's about to like blow this shit up. Like, let's freaking go.
either Eminem or Lil Wayne.
Okay. That's a great lineup, and I'm absolutely buying tickets. Have you seen Post Malone yet? Like live?
More times than you probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you at the Lakewood concert back in? Sweet, so was I.
You were?
Yeah.
Were you at the one at State Farm for his 24 Karat tour?
Mm-mm. I'd never seen him. I
Oh.
chose the country tour. I was like, this is the one, baby. This is the one I'm seeing him for.
So I was like front row at that concert, and like I got to hold his hand. I was crying so hard. I couldn't even like. I have pictures of it. Like, oh
That's amazing.
yeah, he is just.
The other day, me and my wife were talking because we were like, so my dad worked for a company, or still works for a company. He works for the company that built Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Okay.
And so his company has a box in the stadium, a box like a booth,
Right.
you know? So whenever there's a sporting event or a concert, like his company can like, they raffle off, like not raffle, but they just like put feelers out. They're like, hey, there's a Bears and Falcons game this weekend. Who wants tickets?
Right.
And whoever responds first, it's first come, first serve. So for concerts, I was like, Dad, get tickets to this Jelly Roll and Post Malone show.
Yeah.
Get the tickets. He was like, and so he was like, fine. And I told him about this like 6 months ago. I was like, Dad, they just announced it. Put your name in right now. And he was like, and he texted me like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, buddy, it's going to be real hard to get extra tickets to this. Because the booth is supposed to be like they bring clients to it and stuff.
Right.
And like anything extra goes to the company.
Right.
And I was like, Dad, you got to get spots to Post Malone and Jelly Roll.
I'll do
You've
anything.
got to. At least 2. And he was like, buddy, it ain't going to happen. And so the other day in the car, we were listening to Jelly Roll. And I was like, should we just go to this concert anyway?
Yes.
And she was like, maybe. And then we had an idea. Okay, get this, strap in. So Jelly Roll grew up in the same town as my wife. They grew up in the same town.
Okay.
They went to the same high school.
They know each other?
My wife's sister was friends with him in high school.
Okay.
She's no longer with us, but I had this crazy idea. I was like, babe, what if we bought like the meet and greet package and we met Jelly Roll and Post Malone? Because going into 2025, I put an affirmation out there. I was like, in 2025, Jelly Roll is going to be on this podcast. I was like shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll will be in here.
Yeah.
He'll be on this podcast. I was like, what if we took advantage of the fact that you and Jelly Roll like grew up in the same town, like down the street from each other? She was like, all I would need was 2 minutes to talk to him and I'll bridge that gap. She's like, should we do it? And I was like, it's a lot of money. It's like $500 a pop to go to this meet and greet, but you get to meet Jelly and Post.
Wait, you get to meet Post Malone? I didn't see that.
I think so.
He
I didn't do
usually do these.
I didn't do a ton of research. So I saw the meet and greet on the Jelly Roll side. So maybe Post isn't involved, but I haven't done like, it was like quick, like on your phone research, but like not like in depth. But either way, it was like $500 a pop to meet and greet with Jelly Roll. She was like, we should try it and see if we can get him on the podcast. I was like, there's no way that he would like, you know, they're shuffling fans in and out of those meet and greets. There's no way we'd have enough time with him for you to be like, yo, I grew up in the same town. You were friends with my sister. Here's my husband. Do his podcast. Please. Here's his phone number and his email address.
He's crazy. He might just do it.
He might.
I think that he would do something crazy like that. That's just like, I was a fan of Post. I've been a fan of Post Malone since like young Stoney. Nobody knew who he was.
No.
You know? And now like I cannot think of one person in the world who deserves the success he's gotten. He deserves every single
I'm so
one.
with you.
And it's been because everybody's like, I love Post Malone. Like, you don't even know him.
Yeah. You heard congratulations and you are a bandwagon fan, but nobody listens to the old Post Malone music.
Sing White Iverson right now.
For
word
real.
word.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. So whether we go to meet Jelly Roll or not, I think we'll end up being at that concert.
You should go.
Are you going to go?
Absolutely.
Let's fucking go.
Yes.
Let's link and fucking get hammered at Post Malone.
Oh yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Bring the good day. When we went to State Farm, we got drunk with like an old man in a cowboy hat waiting to get in to that concert.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Hey, if you see an old guy with a cowboy hat, that dude knows how to party.
Absolutely.
That dude has seen some shit. That dude has asked a Hooters waitress to go behind the
a
dumpster.
few dumpsters.
I can't believe people have done that. But at the same time, America.
Yeah. We were right at a truck stop exit. Like it was.
That's a detail you left out. A truck stop exit? No.
You can imagine.
I can't. I'm scared. Maybe I want Hooters for dinner.
In Cartersville?
By the Ingalls?
Hell yeah. I'm telling you, Hooters food slaps.
It went so hard.
It does. If you're craving wings, that's the place. Probably the best wings I've ever had to this day.
I loved them. And of course, the curly fries. You got to get the curly fries.
yeah.
It's iconic. All right. More questions. On a day that you're not working or taking care of your kids or doing whatever you're doing to take care of the business or whatever, how do you recharge and take care of yourself?
So I have like a lot of self-care shit that I love. Like I love, you can't tell right now, but I usually have like really long extensions. I love to get my lashes done. Like I love just making myself look nice because then it makes me feel good and confident, you know? And then I just love fucking napping.
Same.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop my kid off. I'm gonna go get my lashes done. I'm gonna go home and sleep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, lay in my bed. That's about it.
I love that. No one ever says napping, and naps are so underrated. As an adult, adult naps.
I nap try to nap every day.
You take a nap every day?
Hell yeah.
I'm fucking jealous.
You don't?
No. Damn. I love that.
Even if it's like 30 minutes, like.
Dude, but when I was leaving to come here today, my wife was like, what are the chances I take a nap while you're gone? And I was like, 100%. She's like, yeah,
Do
I'm
it.
taking a nap.
Please do.
She loves naps. We are a pro nap household.
I think everybody should take naps. Or like, you know, like in Europe where like the whole town's just shut down for like a certain time. Why don't we do that?
We should. Take notes, America.
Yeah. Well,
Get on it, Donnie. What is something that very little people know about you? Your deepest, darkest secret, Amanda. What is it?
oh God. What do some people say? What are other people's answers? Just
I had one person come out of the closet. I'm just kidding. I made that up. No, they didn't choose your morning drive as the avenue to come out. I don't know. Some people say like, oh, I don't know. I can stick my fist up my own ass or something like that. I don't know. People say weird shit. That I made that one up too. Although future guests, someone please needs to just come out and be like, I could stick my own fist in my ass. I'd be like, I'm not going to ask you to prove it. I'm cutting that out. That was weird.
don't do it.
I won't. Fuck it. Judge me if you want to. Sorry, Mom. She's not listening.
Does she watch your podcast?
No.
She doesn't at all?
I mean, not at all.
Okay. Probably that I struggle with a lot of like mental health issues, and I'm prescribed like a lot of like anxiety medicines and stuff. And I recently went on like a journey of coming off of them because I didn't want to be addicted to something like and have to rely on it.
Sure.
And so now I'm just out here raw dogging life. Pretty fucking rough.
Dude, man, I wish we had alcohol here. This would be more fun. I mean, it's you're funny as shit, dude. You're very funny. This is great. Do people tell you that?
That I'm funny.
That you're funny? You're very funny. Like the comment I made earlier about like anything you've ever could say to me, I've already said to myself in the mirror. Like that's a trauma response. It's like, girl, you know how many times I was called skinny fat when I worked at Chili's? Fuck you, Harrison. I'd never heard that term before, skinny fat. He was like, you're skinny fat. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? He was like, you're skinny everywhere else. It's not a trigger. I just absolutely am going to take a bath and cry when I get home.
You have a good day.
No, I'm just playing with you. If I was physically like, I always tell people like nothing really offends me. Like I'm not like, I don't want to say like, if you come for me like personally, like, and I can tell it's a real like malicious personal dig,
Right.
or like my wife or like my family or something, then I'll get antsy. But like you could make the work like a joke about something fucking horrible and I would laugh at it. Like horrible. Like I would be like making jokes like the day after like some horrific like attack on America or something.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well,
Yeah. Bullshit,
you know,
bullshit.
bullshit. Like nothing really like gets me. So like anything I say and put out there, like Catherine, we actually had a deep conversation about this a while ago, and she was just like, do you think, or it wasn't with Catherine, it was with my therapist. She was like, do you think you put stuff out there so that people don't say it to you and so that you put it out there first? And I was like, no, it was Catherine that said that. I'm sorry, babe. And I was like, oh, that is good. But no, I don't know. I just like self-deprecation humor. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I think like making fun of if you can't make fun of yourself, then like.
Well, see, that just triggered me because I feel like I still make like fat jokes and like about myself because I was really overweight a few years ago.
Really?
Like really, really overweight.
You look fucking awesome, dude.
Well, thanks.
Kick ass.
When my brother passed, I had like fucking meltdown and gained like a shit ton of weight. Yeah. And so I think that I used that as a way to like take the spotlight off of that. I made jokes about it, you know what I mean? So now I'll still make jokes and people will be like, that's not fucking funny. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can't say that anymore. It comes across probably like, okay, that skinny bitch just wants us to call her skinny, you know?
Yeah. I see.
Yeah. When really I'm being serious.
Yeah. Like I'll be the guy at the pool that's like don't want to brag. I can balance a can like on my stomach, like sitting right here.
Yeah.
And I'm always just like, look at me, guys. And my wife's like, you really shouldn't do that. Cause like people probably like, what if you're making people like uncomfortable? I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like I'm making fun of myself. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
That's sweet though. She sounds sweet.
She's very sweet.
I've never met her.
She just wants the best for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you meet her?
Online. A Hinge. Dating app.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have dating app success? Other than obviously you got married.
Besides the married one, define success.
You know, I don't know.
Because as a guy, dating app success can allude to a few things.
Different than
yes, I had success.
Yeah, really?
tons of success, tons of flops, lots of bad dates, but tons of success. I mean, I said earlier, I liked dating. I've gone on the record to say, like, I enjoyed the dating. A lot of people hate first dates. A lot of people hate like dating and getting to know somebody. I love it.
Yeah.
I loved that piece, and that's why I think I love this so much. Is it's like a date.
Yeah.
Only it's
I
not.
hate it. I hate it.
Do you?
Yes.
Are you single?
Yes.
Single as a Pringle? Like single as foot?
Yeah. Like,
Damn.
like I'm not single and ready to mingle. I'm single and pringling, single and snacking.
Single and snacking. I like that. Put that on a t-shirt. Dude, do you sell merch for the company?
Yes.
You so should put that on a shirt, dude. Single and snacking, and it's your logo.
That'd be cute. That'd be really cute, actually.
Like make it like a pocket tee, like put your logo right here and then like the saying and like fun like font in the back. I'm like a design freak. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just like thinking of all the ideas. Single and snacking. I'll so buy that.
Thank you for your support.
Single and snacking. Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, I'm glad I got out of the dating game when I did, because I can't imagine like what it's like now. I mean, are you on dating apps?
No, not anymore.
You're doing things like a real adult and meeting people authentically.
No, I don't do that. No. I feel like men like chase you down, and then like once like the hunt is over, they just like turn into nobodies, and they want you to like accept the bare minimum.
Dude, that's deep, because I loved the chase, and like even like I've gone on the record to say this too, so this isn't a surprise to anybody. Like early on in our marriage and our relationship in general, it was tough for me to adapt to being like with the one person,
Right.
because like I enjoyed the chase as a single person, but of course I would never trade anything like what I have now for the world. But like I enjoyed like the thrill of like, who's going to come over? But then again, I was tackling it from like a horned up single college dude like perspective of like, who's going to come over?
Yeah. I don't think that ever goes away though for these men.
No, probably not. I mean, there's men asking waitresses to go behind the dumpster.
Yeah.
And they do it.
I mean, enough money, you can probably usually get whatever you need.
Yeah, I'd go behind the dumpster for $200.
Not for 200.
More?
You're worth more than that, Logan.
How much would some of these girls get?
Oh, 500. I mean, like, it just depended.
Dude, I'd do some shit for $500. Mom, I really hope you don't listen to this. Nah, it's all right. It's all in good fun. How did we get there?
We're talking about dating, and I asked you how you met your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, met on Hinge. Their catchphrase is the app designed to be deleted. We founded this company so people could find their people.
Is it still a company?
Yeah, you should try it. It's not like Tinder or the other ones. It's not like swipe left, swipe right, slip. It's not any of that. It's like you build your profile based on like your interests. So like, and it gives you a bunch of prompts. It'd be like, name a time you did something out of your comfort zone, and you type your response. And so like if I stumble upon your profile and I like your answer, I'll thumb up your answer and leave a comment like, oh my God, that's so funny. I want to know more, or something like that. And then you can message the person and have a conversation. But it's not like a she's hot, she's not type situation. Like builds the, it builds the interest based on the prompts that they give you to answer when you set up the account. So it's a little different. It's not like, it's less sexual based. It's more like connection based.
Less physical.
Less physical, more like this person thinks that about that. Interesting. I want to know more. So you tap on their thing, or like, I think one of my prompts used to be like, I bet I can get your number in 10 minutes or less. And so people would, and I mean, yeah, it was a gimmick to get people to do it, but it worked on my wife. It was like, I bet I'll tell you the best pickup line you've ever heard, so you'll have to give me your phone number, something like that. And I forget what the pickup line is, thinking back.
Damn, I wish I knew. I wish you knew it.
I wish I did too.
Yeah.
It was something that had to do with like, write down your phone number on a napkin, and it had something to do with like writing your phone number down, and then like, great, I'll call you. I forget. That was the punchline. It's like, great, give you a call later. And they'd be like, what? It was like, I'm not even going to attempt it, but it was really smooth, to the point where like some people wouldn't even give me their number. They'd just be like, damn. And I'd be like, yep, what's that number? And then they don't respond. I'm like, all right, fuck me. But it was a ton of fun. I'll try it out.
I get on there and like, I'll open my account, and then I'll have like 10 messages. First of all, it lowers my self-worth, because I'm like, do you really think you have a shot with me? That hurts my feelings.
Dude, I mean, think about it I'll just speak on behalf of the entire male population. No, every dude thinks he has a shot with anybody.
Really?
Although I say that out loud and I'm like, there's some girls I wouldn't even try.
I was gonna say.
I'd be like, there's no fucking way.
That's what I'm saying.
But
So,
like,
so like then you're on there and like these people, like there's somebody for everybody, but
yeah.
you know, there is a level that I expect you to be at to even approach me.
What is, we're now going to take this time to find out Amanda's ideal man. Haha.
God.
Get that pun? Look at that. Ideal. No, I'm just kidding. Back to the questions I was asking. What were we talking about? I said, what was something that very little people know about you? That was the last thing I asked you.
Yeah, we were talking about mental health.
Mental health.
Dating and mental health.
And then weight, and then dating, and
Yeah.
then wow. See, that's podcasting
Yeah.
right there. What is something that no amount of money will get you to do?
Go behind the dumpster of a Hooters.
I knew that's what you were gonna say. What's your biggest fear?
Something happening to my kids before I die. Let me go first. Please. Whatever the universe has me, let me go first. Yeah.
Sure. What would the title of your memoir be?
Oh, millionaire.
Millionaire?
Millionaire.
That's badass.
I've already thought about it.
Of course. Every entrepreneur has thought about it.
Do people have that quick of an answer usually when you
Not really.
No?
No. I know the title of mine.
What is it?
Not telling you.
Ah.
It's in the works.
I was gonna say there's no ebook in the works called Millionaire.
You looked?
Huh?
Did you look to see if Millionaire was taken?
No, it's not.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The one I chose isn't taken either.
No? Not even a hint?
Everyone has a story. Here's mine.
Like that short?
No, I think it's Everyone Has a Story. That's what it's gonna be called.
I like Here's Mine though. I like that addition. Because it would make me feel like,
Yeah, like everyone has a story, ... and then at the bottom of the cover, it's like, here's mine.
yeah.
Maybe. Right now, it's just everyone has a story, but I might add the here's mine part. I like that.
I really like that. I feel like that is something that you're just like, ooh, what's your story? You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at that. And then lastly, Amanda, what does success look like for you?
Damn. Success looks like the day that I die, I don't look back and say, man, I wish I would have done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Just fucking do whatever I want. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. And this is my life. You know, I'm raising good people. I am good people. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Amanda, now, as if we haven't talked about it throughout the episode, you can talk directly to the people listening and tell them how to find you, where to find you, how to look into the business, how to, everything in between, advertise yourself.
Okay. So we do healthy prepared meals if you haven't been listening, for you to take to work and to home and to just have on the go. And it doesn't even have to be about losing weight. It can just be about, like we said, making a small lifestyle change, adding one thing that makes you feel good into your diet a day. So we are Ideal Meals, and you can find us at idealmealprep.com. You can pick up in Rome, Calhoun, Cartersville. We do a delivery to Kennesaw, but hopefully there'll be a store soon in Kennesaw. So that's it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda, we just spent 2 hours and 15 minutes together.
Was it that long? Oh, God.
I told you.
Yeah.
It just flies by.
Yeah.
Thank you for rescheduling with me and keeping on it and wanting, because, a lot of people are like, oh, let's reschedule. And then nothing ever happens. But you immediately, what I really liked about you was that you were like, let's reschedule. When can you do it? So you immediately were like, we're going to do this thing.
Yeah.
Whereas,
wishy-washy people.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's just fucking do it. Why are we?
You don't want to do it. Say you don't want to
Just
do
tell me no.
Yes.
Exactly. I'd rather you tell me no than you get here and we have a terrible experience together.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time away from your family on a Sunday night to be with me, to be vulnerable with me, to laugh with me. Thank you so much for telling me your story, because it's a great one. I can't wait to release it and let everybody else in the community know who you are, where you've come from. It's a tremendous honor. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. And thank y'all for supporting us and for everybody that does support us.
For sure. For sure. Guys, I will make sure to throw the link to Ideal Meals website in the description of the episode. So if you're interested in getting some of the meals. If you're interested in trying any of the products, you can try them at the link in the description of the episode. Again, like I said at the top, if you want to support the podcast, follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Everything is at Your Morning Drive. We thank you so much for listening today, and we'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.